It's Saturday, October 3rd. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blancolirio channel. And yesterday we had another high-profile general aviation accident when Stephen Barnes, age 61, a prominent New York City personal injury lawyer, and his 32-year-old niece were fatally injured while on descent to New York's Buffalo Airport in their 2016 Socata TBM-850 aircraft. Mr. Barnes holds a single-engine private pilot's rating and an instrument rating. Let's go inside and review the ATC audio tapes provided by Victor at VASAviation. Let's start out with the ATC audio recording courtesy of Victor over at VASAviation. If you haven't done so already, I highly recommend subscribing to his channel as he gets this information out very quickly and he's able to cut down the ATC audio tape to just the important parts.
November 5, Delta Mike, Boston.
That's the accident aircraft.
November 906, 5 Delta Mike, Boston Center.
They're trying to get a hold of 5 Delta Mike. They've lost radio contact with 5 Delta Mike. More on that in a minute.
November 906, 5 Delta Mike, Boston. November 965 Delta Mike, Boston Center 121.5. If you hear me, come up center frequency 135.25. That's 3525.
Okay, 121.5 is better known as guard frequency. It's the emergency frequency. When you're doing IFR operations, especially single pilot, you need to be monitoring 2 radios simultaneously. You need to keep your primary ATC communications in Victor 1, and you need to back up in Victor 2 guard frequency or 121.5 and have that maybe on a little bit lower volume so that in the event that you mess up the radio frequencies and you lose communications, you will be able to hear them on guard trying to get a hold of you. 121.5. RF stands for radio failure on the red tag on the aircraft.
965 Delta Mike, Buffalo. 65 Delta Mike, Buffalo.
That's Buffalo approach.
965 Delta Mike, your Buffalo Tower, you on frequency webcast?
Buffalo Tower.
TBM 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo.
He's within 30 to 40 miles of the airport now.
Approach TBM 965 Delta Mike. TBM 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo. 965 Delta Mike. I somehow lost Tom with center, but I'm landing in Buffalo. IFR flight plan. Okay, TBM 965 Delta Mike. For now, maintain flight level 280. Yeah, we've been trying to get a hold of you. We're going to work out with the center. I'll get you lower here shortly.
Okay, he's getting very close to the airport. He's at flight level 280 or 28,000 feet. Normally, when you plan a descent in any of these aircraft, you want to plan a descent that's about 3 to 1. So at just roughly 30,000 feet, you should be starting your descent at about 90 miles out. He's somewhere now between 30 to 40 miles from the airport, very close to the airport. So since he's lost communications, his clearance has been delayed to initiate his descent. They had to wait till they got communication with him before they could clear him to do his IFR descent. Now, there's some specific IFR rules about lost communication that you can follow. We'll discuss that in a minute. But this sets up this whole snowball of events.
Okay, sir, and I'd like vectors to the ILS 23, please. 965 Delta Mike. TBM 5 Delta Mike, descend and maintain 8,000. Expect the ILS from 823. Everything okay up there? Yes, sir. Everything's fine. 965 Delta Mike. Delta Mike, Roger. Check right in sight, sir.
ATC knows that, or gets the feeling that 5 Delta Mike is getting behind the aircraft. He's not keeping up with what's going on with this high-performance aircraft at this time. It's as if he's distracted.
02 Whiskey. Cherokee 02 Whiskey, change advisor frequencies approved, smart? Yeah, 02 Whiskey. TBM 5 Delta Mike is going to leave it direct to the airport, and we'll just bring him all the way box you back around on the left downwind for the ILS. 965 Delta
Let's do that over again so we don't
Cherokee 02 Whiskey, change advisor frequencies approved, slung? Yeah, 02 Whiskey. TBM-5 Delta Mike, just going to leave it direct to the airport, and we'll just bring him all the way box you back around on the left downwind for the ILS. 965 Delta Mike.
Okay. So in order to resolve this situation of being too high, too close to the airport, ATC is going to box him around the pattern. In other words, they're going to basically fly him over past the airport, give him the room that he needs to descend at about a 3-to-1 rate, and then vector him around for the ILS approach. It's not clear to me if 5 Delta Mike understands this.
Delta Mike, where are you headed?
Right there, he's lost control of the
TBM-5 Delta Mike, Buffalo. 5 Delta Mike, stop your descent, maintain 10,000. 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo, stop your descent, level your wings, maintain any altitude. TBM 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo, stop your descent.
He's doing a right-hand
965 Delta Mike, Buffalo.
At a very high rate of speed. Let's go look at the ADS-B data.
TBM 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo. 965 Delta Mike, Buffalo, out of here.
Here on FlightRadar 24, we can get the ADS-B data from Manchester, New Hampshire, over to Buffalo at flight level 280. West is best, even's better not. He's at even altitude. But check out the final moments of this flight profile. Let's zoom on in here. Right about Abim, Batavia, or about 40 miles out from the airport. The last data, here's the last data point at 11,000 feet, 446 knots, and 6,848 feet per minute rate of descent. Here's the FlightAware flight track log data, the brown line indicating the altitude, a steady 28,000 feet while on autopilot, followed by a very steep descent. The blue line represents airspeed. It looks to me that this is pretty spiky data, granulated, not very well granulated from the ADS-B data, but it does indicate that the airspeed continued to increase into the final descent. Here's a quick review of your lost communications procedures while under IFR instrument flight rules. The first thing is to squawk 7600 in your transponder, and then as far as the routing, the idea is that if your radios go out completely while flying on instruments, you can still descend and land without radio communications by following these rules. The route you need to fly is in this order. Either the assigned route, second choice is the vectored route, third choice is the expected route, and fourth choice is the filed route. That's remembered by the acronym AVEF, AVEF. Altitude, you got to choose the highest of these 3 possible altitudes. The MEA, or minimum en route altitude, the last assigned altitude, and finally the expected altitude. Fly the higher of those 3. Using this, you can plan your descent and land out of an IFR flight plan without communicating. If you have a clearance limit, you want to start your descent as close as possible to that EFC time, expected further clearance time. If you don't have an EFC time, you need to start your descent as close to the estimated time of arrival based on your flight plan. In other words, you could technically go into a holding pattern until your time expires and then come on in and land without any radios. None of this was a player in this particular situation. They were able to reestablish communications with the accident aircraft. So accident investigators got a lot to look at in this accident. Once they find the aircraft, they're going to have to determine the continuity of the flight controls, how well together was the aircraft upon impact. They'll need to do a toxicology report, find out if hypoxia was involved, the lack of oxygen with this accident aircraft. The sad fact is when lawyers end up crashing their aircraft, the lawsuits start flying, and they try to blame external factors such as ATC, when in fact it may very well boil down to pilot error. This drives up insurance costs for everybody else in the industry, especially when it comes to high-performance singles and multi-engine turbine aircraft. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what happened to the TBM-850. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, and especially thanks so much to the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible, as it is continuously demonetized by the folks at YouTube. Thanks for your support. See you here.